one of the reasons I made that video is because none of these players will acknowledge the elephant in the room. Why aren't people tuning into the rest of these games? Sorry, not sorry. I know facts clouds feelings. I don't think raising the level of other teams has to mean bringing Caitlin or the Indiana Fever down.
Did you know that 41 out of 44 of Caitlin Clark's games are being nationally televised this season? That's got some WNBA veterans absolutely fuming about the imbalance. Is it unfair special treatment or just smart business? Lisa Leslie just dropped a truth bomb on this whole controversy, telling players to stop complaining and understand the economic reality. Networks aren't picking games based on fairness. They're following the money. And right now, Caitlin Clark is bringing in millions of viewers that weren't watching before. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video.
And a lot of these WNBA players that suffer from jealousy and envy and hate enter in Lisa Leslie because she was asked about it. And, well, her answer made a lot more sense. It did. For Caitlin Clark, well, they're not going to love this, right? Sorry, Angel. Sorry, Dejanay Carrington. And so many others that want to claim like, nah, ain't nothing to see here except when Caitlin gets her.
Did you know TV networks don't care about fairness at all? They only care about one thing, and that's making money. And right now, Caitlin Clark games are printing cash for everyone involved. It's actually crazy how much the Indiana Fever games are worth to networks this season. Networks are showing 41 out of 44 Indiana Fever games this season, and some WNBA veterans are absolutely furious about it. Players like Nneka Ogwumike are questioning why their teams aren't getting the same treatment. And you know what? I get it. If you've been grinding in the league for years, suddenly seeing this rookie get all the spotlight feels unfair. But here's the thing, this isn't about fairness or equality.
To not have the defending champs on TV more, I think is kind of crazy. Well, the fact is, it's not crazy if nobody will watch. Her neck clotheslined from hell during a game, but we're supposed to believe there's no actual animosity there. So, let's check this out right here. On ESPN's First Take, obviously people want to watch Caitlin Clark. So you have to put people on TV that people want to see. Absolutely. Now that makes sense. But
the hard truth is that Caitlin Clark games are pulling in 2 to 3 million viewers, while regular WNBA games struggle to hit 300,000. That's a 10x difference in eyeballs. You think TV executives are sitting around worrying about hurting players' feelings? No way. They're looking at those viewer numbers and seeing dollar signs. Lisa Leslie stepped in and basically told everyone to stop complaining. She pointed out that Clark's popularity is lifting the entire league's visibility and bringing in millions in new revenue that benefits everyone. Leslie isn't just talking as a former player, she understands the business side. She knows that these ratings translate directly to advertising dollars that help grow the entire WNBA ecosystem. The Minnesota Lynx showed exactly how this works in real life. They're requiring fans to buy tickets to multiple games if they want to see the Fever play. Some fans hate it, but it's smart business. They're using Clark to fill seats for games nobody would watch otherwise. Imagine finally selling out your arena for games against teams like the Dream or the Wings just because people want Clark tickets so badly. That's actually happening right now. When networks decide which games to air, they're looking at spreadsheets showing potential ad revenue.
By the way, the Minnesota Lynx put out a situation where you're having to buy a certain amount of tickets to get to go see the Fever play. Now, they would probably have to remove some of those games they gave to her and give it to other teams. And for the WNBA, that would be disastrous. They don't capitalize enough on Caitlin Clark to begin with. I've seen some Caitlin Clark fans be upset about this, and at first, I did a what the F. And then I said to myself,
they don't care about giving every team fair coverage. They care about ROI, return on investment. Every minute of airtime costs money, and networks need to maximize their return. Why would ESPN put on a game that draws 200,000 viewers when they could show a fever game that pulls 2 million? That's like choosing to make $10 instead of $100. No business works that way. So why are 41 of Caitlin Clark's 44 games being shown on national TV?
Okay, that's capitalism. It's kind of savvy, to be honest with you. Yeah. Does that sort of alienate some fans? It does. But they're looking to make the most money. They're a business. Well, wait a minute. If we're always coming down on these teams for not wanting to for not capitalizing on Caitlin Clark's demand, when they do so, we can't lose our minds. We don't get it both ways. Some WNBA team is actually trying to run a business. Shocking, I know. They should have those amount of games on TV on primetime, but I think the other teams should also have more than what they have.
Because she's bringing millions of new viewers and massive advertising dollars to a league that desperately needs both. The WNBA has been trying to grow its audience for years, and suddenly this one player comes along and multiplies viewership overnight. Of course, they're going to capitalize on that. Even the teams playing against Indiana are benefiting hugely. They're getting primetime exposure they wouldn't normally get, selling out arenas, and seeing merchandise sales explode just by being on the other side of the court from Clark. Teams that would normally play in half-empty arenas on a random Tuesday night are suddenly on national TV in primetime. That exposure is worth millions in marketing that these teams could never afford otherwise. Leslie's perspective comes from understanding the business side of sports. As she explained, the increased revenue from Clark's games will eventually lead to higher salaries and better opportunities for all players. More viewers means more sponsorship deals. More sponsorship deals means more money for the league. More money for the league means bigger contracts for players. It's not complicated. It's just business. The reality is that sports has always worked this way. The most popular players get the most coverage. Michael Jordan's Bulls were on TV constantly in the 90s, and nobody complained because everyone understood it was good business. The Cowboys are called America's team for a reason. They draw viewers even when they're terrible. The Yankees and Lakers get prime slots because they move the needle. This isn't unique to women's sports or to Caitlin Clark. You know what's really wild about all this? The WNBA has been desperate for this kind of attention for decades. They've wanted mainstream coverage, packed arenas, and bigger TV deals. Now they finally have a player who can deliver all that, and some veterans are upset about it. It makes no sense. This is exactly what the league has needed. And when was the last time people were arguing about WNBA TV coverage in mainstream sports media? Never. The fact that we're even having this conversation proves Clark's value to the league. She's got people talking about women's basketball who never cared before. That attention translates directly into dollars, and those dollars will help the entire league grow. Let's be real. Lisa Leslie's conclusion cuts through all the noise. She's asking players to zoom out and see how Clark's popularity benefits everyone. In her own words, she urged everyone to step back and see the big picture of how it's impacting all of us. That's not just talk. It's about understanding the ecosystem of professional sports. The players with vision will ride this wave. They'll leverage the increased attention, build their personal brands, and position themselves for better endorsements. This moment could be historic for women's basketball. The question isn't about Clark's worthiness, it's whether the league can collectively seize this rare spotlight to transform decades of struggle into sustainable success.